Hey, this is Kayla J, and this is my Philadelphia.
This is my Philadelphia, 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 Philadelphia.
Hey everybody, welcome to This Is My Philadelphia. Of course, I'm Kayla J, and today we're going to talk about voting and its importance. I went around Philadelphia and I got some of the best millennials that I could find on the streets of Philly to talk to you about voting and its importance, especially to you that are 18 to 35.
Hi, my name is Michaela Chandler and I'm 20 years old. My first time at the polls voting was with my parents. Not only did they instill in me a lot of values in terms of, looking out for what candidates represent and what they believe in terms of health care or in terms of, community work or how our taxes are going to be spent, they also showed me the process. So, it was actually really funny the first time I went to go vote because it actually ended up where a couple in front of us that butted in line, butted in front of us in line. So, of course, that was frustrating and we were angry, wanted to make a scene, but we didn't do any of that. We just, said, we're here, we're ready to vote, our vote counts and it matters just as much as anybody else. We're not gonna wage war. We're gonna let, our voices and our vote speak for themselves.
My name is Kerry Green, I'm 25 years old. The first time I voted, I remember feeling a sense of nostalgia. I had an epiphany because not only was I old enough to vote and I was recognized in America as a legal adult, but because I was fulfilling my civil duty as an American citizen.
So, I'm a millennial myself, and I wanted to share my own personal story with you guys. The first time I voted was in the 2012 elections when it was Senator Barack Obama, at that time actually President Barack Obama, running for re-election, and I was so excited about voting. At that time I was also still in college. It was my freshman year, and I'll never forget, I ran down to the student union to make sure that I was registered to vote in Virginia because I wanted to cast my vote for President Obama. And they allowed me to register. I was so excited. I called home, called my mother, and I said, hey Mom, I'm registered to vote here in Virginia. I'm going to do my civic duty in November. And I was just so excited. I remember talking about it for days and days and days, how I couldn't wait until election day came. I was going to be the first in line at the polling place. My roommate actually beat me to the polling place because I had a morning class. But once I got there to vote, I was saddened because I was an out-of-state student. They said that my registration did not go through because I was registered here in Philadelphia. But they allowed me to fill out an absentee ballot for Pennsylvania, as well as put in a write-in vote. So I was so excited to do that. Even though I couldn't push the button like I had planned on doing, I was able to write down that I was voting for President Obama, and that made my day. It was about 12 noon when I did it. I'll never forget it because the line was so long with students who could not wait to do their civic duty. The line wrapped around the student union building about 2 times, and I waited in line for about 2 hours just to cast my first vote.
My name is Anthony Bellman. I'm 28 years old and I'm the co-founder of Millennials in Action. The first time I voted was back in 2008 when then Senator Barack Obama was running for President of the United States. I was actually down in Washington, D.C. for college. It was my first year in college. But I felt like this election was so important that I actually took an Amtrak train home to Philadelphia to make sure I voted in my community in Alany for the first black president of the United States. It was a very emotional time for a lot of us. It was a time where a lot of people didn't even think that it was possible, but it was young people that made it possible. It was young people, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds that got out there, knocked on doors, that voted for the first time, that really wanted to see change in our community and change in our country, and we elected the first black president of the United States. It was then when I realized that politics could really change a lot of things, and if everybody got involved and if everyone was engaged, we could really make history.
Hello, my name is Malika Rockman. I am 32 years old, and I'm here to talk to you today about voting and why it is important. My first time voting, I remember I was about 6 or 7 years old, and my mother took me to the polls, and all I couldn't wait to do was close the curtain and push that button that said vote. I didn't realize how important and impactful that was until now, here recently, as I've become an adult and realized how important utilizing my voice and my vote is.
I believe that millennials really should stress the importance of voting, because I think we got that presidential votes or presidential elections are important, and I call that the Trump effect. He single-handedly has awakened an entire nation on the importance of the electoral process. But I just want to set precedents that these local and these state elections are even of greater precedence, because those people that we elect on the local and state level, they elect who we see in the Oval Office based on the electoral college.
I think it's really important as millennials to vote because, you know, in terms of the character and values and integrity of a person, it can really reflect and affect the dynamics of the people and your own community, and how, you know, things such as healthcare, things such as, you know, the Me Too movement, things such as where your taxes are going to, and, you know, other policies and procedures and laws, and how it changes and shifts, you know, how we live, and even, you know, food security. There's just so much that goes on in our community that's so important, that even if, you know, now we usually think it's not important to me, like, why does it shouldn't matter? Why should I vote? My vote doesn't count. You'd be surprised, you know, how much power we hold as a whole, and the shift, whether that's in cultural or whether that's, like, you know, among our peers, organizations, you know, making our voice heard and known, but the issues that matter and bringing it to light on a national dynamic scale, I think it's so important.
November 6, 2018 will be the most important election of our lifetime. It's a time where we will actually get a chance to put a check on this president and make sure that the policies that he's trying to enact will not harm our community. We have to vote, and everybody has to get out and vote now. A lot of people were disenfranchised or felt like that their votes didn't matter back in 2016 when the whole Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump election happened. A lot of people went out and voted and still felt like that their votes didn't matter because their person didn't win. But that's not democracy. We cannot give up. We can't let up. We have to make sure that everyone is out there and everyone is voting. On November 6th, we get a chance to elect our governor, our United States senator, our state reps, and our members of the United States Congress. And we have to make sure that everybody is engaged and that everybody's on the same page. Let's vote, let's create this blue wave, and let's make sure that young people, like we created history back in 2008, let's make history again.
Secondly, I want to talk to you about why I vote. I vote because it is my voice. I vote because it is my choice. And I vote because I'm voting for the people who cannot vote for themselves. I'm voting for my 16-year-old nephew who is being raised in Baltimore, Maryland as a young black man in America. And I'm voting so that he can have rights. I am voting so that he can have a voice and an opportunity to speak for himself and live a successful life, that he doesn't have to apologize for the color of his skin, for the class of his mother, for the class of his family, or for the mistakes of those who came before him. However, he can stand on the efforts of those who came before him, on the backs of those that came before him, and utilize his voice to make this world a better place.
Your voice truly does matter. There is an election almost every year. You have your council people to vote for, your governors, your mayors, your judges, your president of the United States, of course. But every year there is some type of election. You need to go out and do your civic duty each time. Not just when the presidential elections come around, not just during the midterm elections, but each time there is an election, you need to go out and vote. I promise you that when you do this, you'll start to see your community change, that when you do this, you'll start to feel better about yourself because you have given them your voice. Your vote is your voice. Yes, we're going to get out in the streets and we're going to protest. Yes, we're going to get out in the streets and we're going to pass out checks. Yes, we're going to hold community meetings, but also we need to vote. Millennials, it is our civic duty to vote. Our parents did it. Our grandparents did it. So why are we sitting home on the couch watching the election night results instead of being a part of the election night itself? Let's make it a trend, y'all. Election day. Hashtag I vote. Hashtag I'm a voter. I promise you, once you get out and vote, your life will never be the same. It's election day. Let's go out and do something. This is Kayla J, and this has been your voter registration, your voter election day episode of This Is My Philadelphia. Hey everybody, thanks for watching This Is My Philadelphia. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button below. If you didn't like it, still click that subscribe button. I'm Kayla J, and be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at KaylaJ_Music Nerd, and follow my producer at Mike Moore the Producer on all social media platforms. Be sure to continue to tune in every month for This Is My Philadelphia. Peace.